Well, that pretty much sums it up. Good morning. My name is Jeff Grybowski. I'm the CEO of Deepwater Wind. As a native Rhode Islander, welcome to Warwick, welcome to Rhode Island, the ocean state, and the birthplace of the wind industry. We are very pleased to have you all here today. We is a very important organization for the growth of our industry. So we're going to talk a bit about Block Island today, but today and the next few days is about much more than Block Island. We at Deepwater Wind have had a really extraordinary year. In the spring, with our partners, National Grid, we installed 30 miles of submarine cable. In the summer, with our partners GE, Monaco Offshore, and Fred Olsen Wind Carrier, we installed our 5 turbines in 18 days. And we are now, I can very confidently say, only a few weeks away from producing the first watt of offshore wind in the U.S. We're on time, we're on budget, and most importantly, I think we're at the start, finally, of something much, much bigger than one offshore wind project. I've been coming to these conferences for quite a number of years, and I think we are finally at that turning point that we all have been talking so much about for a long while. I think we finally, and I think you'll feel it and hear it at this conference, at the point where this industry in the United States is about to really take off. And many things are happening across our industry. Costs are declining dramatically in Europe. But as an American developer, just as important is the great interest that we are now seeing from companies in the U.S. Gulf of Mexico that see this as a great new industry for those companies and those workers. And I'm convinced that the ingenuity of those U.S. Gulf of Mexico and other American firms will help us drive down the cost of offshore wind even further. We've seen this in the renewable sector for a long time. The United States starts out as kind of a secondary market. And that's the way I think many people think of the U.S. offshore wind market right now. It's a secondary market to Europe. But what happened in onshore wind is that although the United States trailed many other countries at the beginning of the development of onshore wind, the U.S. is now the largest onshore wind market in the world. The same thing is happening in the solar business, and I'm convinced that the same thing will happen in offshore wind. The U.S. is not just going to be a secondary market, the U.S. will be a dominant player in the development of the offshore wind industry globally. And it's starting right now. Why is that happening? Fundamental economics are driving the development of this industry today. And we're seeing it up and down the eastern seaboard in particular. We're entering into a replacement cycle of power plants in the U.S. Old coal, oil, and nuclear plants are retiring. And as those plants retire, communities are faced with a choice. We need to replace those plants with something. And increasingly, Americans are choosing to replace those plants with renewable energy projects. And if you live in a coastal region, like Rhode Island, offshore wind is often and increasingly going to be that choice. And that's fundamentally what's driving our industry. We're here in Rhode Island, a coastal state, the ocean state, where offshore wind makes a whole lot of sense. And it's we also are very happy and pleased that we have a leader who supports offshore wind and supports renewables. So it's my great pleasure to introduce our extraordinary governor, Gina Raimondo, who was first elected in 2014. She's the first woman to serve as governor of Rhode Island. And since she was elected, she's brought incredible passion and energy and intelligence to the office of governor. She hasn't had a long career in public service. She started out in the private sector, and she was a co-founder of a private investment firm that helped launch dozens of successful businesses. And then for some extraordinary reason, one day she decided to run for public office, years ago. She became the state treasurer and was responsible for a massively successful national model of a reform of the state pension system. And she then ran for governor in 2014, and since then has really been focusing on revitalizing the economy, focusing on strengths like ocean science and technology and ocean industries. She's becoming a great champion of the environment, a great champion of clean energy, and I'm very, very proud that she is our governor, Gina Raimondo.